Good morning, guys. Welcome to the vlog. And if you're new here, my name's Ray. I make daily videos about my medical journey. This wind is making my eyes water. I'm gonna go now. Heading to grand rounds. I'm actually late for grand rounds because an administrator was talking to me, which is pretty awesome. Like, to be honest, that they actually recognized my face and had a conversation with me about how the program's doing and how I think learning is doing and teaching is going and attendings and residents, and it was actually really cool. Good times in this room. I'm not in here anymore because I'm not inpatient family medicine anymore, but I did want to talk to the head of this department, because she's also a pulmonologist and an internal inpatient. I have a very, very interesting pulmonary case, so I wrote up a note for her, and that's part of why I was so busy this morning. And I told her about it, and she seems interested, and she wants to go through it. So it's noon right now, it's lunchtime, but I think this is pretty cool. So I'm gonna skip lunch and go over it with her. She loved it. It is a very interesting case. I'm gonna present it to you guys later when I get home and I have the time to read through my note. Okay, so basically this is how I would present the patient to an attending, right? 69-year-old female presents to the ED with a 1-week history of shortness of breath. She was brought in by her daughter. As per her daughter, she gets exacerbated on ambulation. It is relieved by rest. Also per daughter, she is compliant with her home medications. She was on O2 at home, but had to stop because of financial reasons. Past medical history significant for diastolic heart failure, diabetes mellitus, pleural effusion, hypertension, hypothyroidism, and a remote history of cervical cancer. On ROS, she had dyspnea on exertion, shortness of breath, edema seen bilaterally in her lower extremities, and dizziness. No known allergies. She's a never smoker. For the attending, I would go through like the list of medications. I don't need to do that for you guys, I don't think necessarily. It doesn't exactly pertain to this case. In the ED, the vitals were unremarkable except for pulse ox was 90 on room air. Physical exam, in mild distress, she's obese. Lung examination, decreased breath sounds bilaterally, crackles heard bilaterally. There is no wheezing, no intercostal retraction, no accessory muscles. You want to put emphasis on the physical exam and ROS relevant to the chief complaint. So she came in with shortness of breath, so the physical exam, although you do an entire physical exam, you want to focus a lot on lungs. Everything else was basically unremarkable. Her abdomen was slightly distended, and I mentioned the edema in the lower extremities. Negative for pitting edema. When she came in, she was anemic, and her kidneys were malfunctioning with a BUN of 32 and a creatinine of 1.48. Basically, I'm not going to run through everything. That's going to take a while, I feel like, because this patient has been here for a while. I told you guys all of this is about this patient. So basically, she is pleural effusion. She had a history of it, and she came in complaining of shortness of breath. Was that a knock on my door? On chest x-ray, she was found to have moderate left-sided pleural effusion with underlying atelectasis/infiltration, small right-sided pleural effusion, and increased pulmonary markings. We also did a CT of the abdomen and pelvis, saw the same thing, and a CT of the chest x-ray, saw the same thing. So basically she had a massive pleural effusion on the left side and a little bit on the right side, affected her breathing. They did a thoracentesis and took out 1,240 mLs on the first one. They did a second one and took out 2,150 mLs. Eventually they put a pigtail catheter in, and it was draining fluid. It's still draining fluid. They put it in on the 30th, January 30th, and it's been draining straw-colored fluid. Here's where the story takes like a turn. She has altered mental status right now. I think I told you guys about this patient. I saw her one day, she responded to me. The other day, nothing. I was shaking her. Nothing's happening. But apparently before I met the patient, she was screaming, yelling, talking to people who weren't in the room. She was confused. February 4th, there was a huge increase in the BUN. I think I told you guys. Right now it's 103. When she came in, remember, it was 32. There's also been an increase in creatinine. Creatinine comes from your kidneys, and it's going up gradually. BUN comes from your kidneys, but also your liver. So if your liver is damaged, it increases a lot. I feel like I've mentioned this to you guys before. I remember saying this. When we did a CT of the abdomen, ascites was noted. I'm guessing someone had like a hunch for an autoimmune disorder, so they did a test for ANA, which came back positive, anti-Smith positive, and anti-dsDNA positive. But yeah, she just got progressively worse. Her O2 was dropping. All the fluid was coming out of her lungs, which made her feel better, but then she got worse with the altered mental status and her kidneys just malfunctioning terribly now, and that's where it stops. It's like such a cliffhanger, right? We got an ICU consult, and I believe she is getting transferred to the ICU, and gotta see what happens. I'm gonna end the vlog here, guys. This is really, really long. I'm so sorry about that, but thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. See you guys next time.